What's up, everybody? It's your boy James, aka Hot Wang Dang here, and today, I wanted to go over goals and how goals will affect your life, good and bad. I've been coming along in my work progression for quite a long time. I've been trying to make headway and make moves, and I really didn't have a good goal structure. And I was thinking about it the past few weeks about how my goal structure has changed over the past few years and the success I've found in those changes that I'm doing. And it's not like immediate changes, it's not gigantic changes, it's more of subtle changes, things that need to come with time and things that need to change. So I started putting myself into some goal terms and started thinking, how can I make the things that I want come to be? And it's not just about willing them there, it's not about having the motivation to go do them. It's almost like a workplace where you have to set your own goals and then you have to meet them, and once you meet them, you need to raise the bar a little bit here and there. So let's start by going over short-term goals, because short-term goals are pretty much 1 to 3 month goals. And those 1 to 3 month goals are very important because you got to keep updating those 1 to 3 month goals. And you got to keep updating your own personal gains once you obtain them or don't obtain them, because there's going to be goals that you set for yourself that you don't get to. That's going to happen. That's a pitfall, and that's just going to be another challenge for you to overcome. It's going to be an obstacle, and you got to think about those obstacles, and you got to take them with stride, and you got to push forward through them. Now let's go back to the short-term goals. In a short-term goal, it should be from like 1 to 3 months, as I stated. But the thing that you want to think about is, why am I doing these goals? What's the purpose of making these goals happen? Why are we doing these goals? There's 3 things that you should keep in mind when you're doing short-term goals. It should be positive. It should make you gain something that you didn't have, because these are short-term goals. These ain't long-term. These are the things you need to work on in a small period of time. The second thing is it a positive attribute to your life? Are you just doing it for money? Are you just doing it for who knows why, selfish reasons? Or are you making these goals your short-term goals because they're going to advance you as a human being? And the last thing to keep in mind is, do you have family that's affecting this? Because keep in mind, those obstacles and things that you're going to hit are probably going to hinder you from creating and doing these goals. So when you're making these goals, you got to keep your schedule in mind. That's very important, to keep your schedule in mind. With that said, those are the 3 major outlines of short-term goals. You should always be thinking about those and updating them. Right now, in my life, my 3 short-term goals that I have set aside for myself is, and they're all work-related except for wife things. So my first one is to start communicating more with my boss about the things that are broken in my life. And because those things are broken in my life, he will understand, oh, he's going through some trials and tribulations. I may need to be more understanding in this point. And that's my first short-term goal. My second short-term goal right now is to become financially sound, that I can start investing in stocks and bonds a little bit more, not for a selfish reason, but for the future, so I can diversify my portfolio and start making things happen. The third thing that I have, a short-term goal, is building a better relationship with my wife herself and my family members and my friends. Building better relationships. I want to know them better. I want to know what they feel and how they feel, and understand the complete reasoning behind some things. Next, you've got your midterm goals, and these are goals from about 3 months to about a year, depending on how you look at them and how you obtain your goals. I do 3 to 9 months because I like to keep them a little bit shorter. So with 3 to 9 month goals, you got to keep in mind, these are going to be things that you're going to have to chip at. They're not going to come immediately. Even if you accomplish them pretty quickly, you're looking to just chip at them. So things like, I want to buy a car in the next 9 months. How am I going to do that? How am I going to set aside the money to do that? How am I going to set aside an action plan to get these done? Short-term goals don't always need an action plan. Middle and long-term goals always need an action plan. You have to write these down and hold yourself accountable for these. You can't just let these go. You have to hold yourself accountable. Very important. The next part of this in these 3 to 9 month goals are to really think about how is it affecting you as a person. Are these going to be gains for yourself? And once again, we're going back to that 1 to 3 month goals. Are they selfish gains? What are you doing with these goals? How are they affecting your life? Are they positive? Are they negative? So you want to keep that in mind. Always keep your goals in mind to create something positive for yourself, because positive breeds positive. It will always come. The more positivity you show in this world, I have a firm belief that if you show positivity, it will give positivity. And I've seen a lot of negative people run into negative situations. And I'm not saying that's for sure. That's just my opinion. I think positivity brings positivity. The last one that we want to go over here on the midterm goals is how are you going to accomplish these? With that action plan set, how are you going to do these, and is it reasonable? Is it something you can do? Because you want to keep your mid to long-term goals super reasonable. Now we're going to get into the long-term goals, and this is where the gray area happens, because everybody has their own long-term goals. Everybody has their own things that they want to accomplish in their life. Here's where I believe people make their mistakes. Their long-term goals are not proper. And I don't mean to shoot you down or anything like that, because this is just opinion. We're just having a conversation here. But I'll tell you what, if you set aside a goal, and a long-term goal that is not selfish, it is for the betterment of everybody in your life, including yourself, and the last is it's for a righteous reason. And I'm not talking godly reason, I'm talking a righteous reason, a good reason. Then you should be able to accomplish these goals. Long-term goals should be one to forever. Write these down. I must emphasize to you that you need to write these down. And the reason I say you need to write these down is because if you do not, you will lose sight and track of them. Keep them fresh in your mind. So let's go to my 3 things that I think that we as a society need to work on for our long-term goals. First off, it has to better everything, not just selfish. Even if you're striving to make a better world for your kids and money and stuff like that, it needs to have a legitimate positive outlook and effect on who you're directly dealing with. Now, directly dealing with is a loose term, because that term could mean, you're dealing with Susie Q. Bobby over there at the restaurant. It could be you're dealing with your wife on a certain topic, or you're dealing with your boss, whatever. Whoever it is, you got to understand your long-term goals have to benefit everybody in that group, at least anybody you care about. That's the second step to this. Long-term goals really need to apply to the people and yourself, and they have to affect everybody, because one of your goals is to make more money. You start making more money. How does it affect your family? How does it affect your life? Does it cripple things? So I'm trying to get people away from long-term goals being about money. Long-term goals should be like, so by the year 2023, I want to have myself so financially sound that I can leave work and travel the world and experience things and help people. Another long-term goal that's righteous in its way is like, I want to be able to be sound in myself and my thoughts, that I can share my thoughts and processes with other people. Something to that effect. Now that was the second guide on long-term goals. The third guide, and I think this is a very important one, is to understand that you're going to fall and you're going to fail. And those are going to be your trials and tribulations that you must overcome to get to the place that you want to be with your life. We as humans need to start taking a stance for what we believe in, if it's right. Don't be afraid to tell somebody that they're wrong, because that sparks a conversation. Now you gotta finesse that a little bit. You can't just be like, you're wrong. You gotta have the reasoning behind it, and you gotta have the thought behind it. It's important to have those thoughts behind it and give them reasons why, because if you just say you're wrong and you don't have any reasons, then you're wrong. Straight up, if you tell somebody they're wrong and you have no reasons behind it and you just think that you're right because you're right, you're wrong. Hands down, you're wrong. Because you would have no logic behind the reason why they're wrong. And with no logic comes nonsense. And I didn't mean to get a harsh tone right there, but it's so important that you understand if you're going to tell somebody that they're wrong, you need to have a full understanding of why you're right. Not why they're wrong, but why you're right. And it has to be logical. And that all ties back into long-term, short-term, mid-term goals. They have to benefit the entirety of your circle, if you will, your world circle. And that world circle can expand as far as homeless people. It can expand into just you and your wife. It can expand just into you and your roommate. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, all of these center around creating a great relationship with the people that you have near you that will help you accomplish those goals. Keep this in mind. Now, if you liked what we were talking about today, please post your comments below. Please subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We're going to be having a lot of these conversations, and I can't wait to share my opinions and my thoughts with you, and I hope you reciprocate in the thread below and you comment below, and we can have a great discussion about this, because I'll tell you what, I've had a lot of experience on this world, and I've went through a lot of things that are very difficult, and I've been through some things that are super easy. But anywhere and anyone that I can help truly with my heart and my knowledge and the things that I've struggled with, I want to help with. Because if you're not sharing the situations that you've been in, you're just creating stagnant environments. And I don't want that. So, thank you for watching in. If you like the video, give it a like, sub, all that good stuff. I love you, and until next time, please keep that positive vibe.